Hey everybody, Retrofied here, and today's day 23 in this month-long marathon leading up to the Switch 2's launch. And today I'm actually going to be doing another launch day guide for the Switch 2. Now while yesterday's guide was mainly for the US, today's guide is going to mainly be Canada, Australia, and Europe. Because I know I have some of you guys watching who are from these countries, and a lot of what I said yesterday doesn't really apply to a bunch of different countries. But yesterday's guide can still apply to a lot of different places, not just the US. But hopefully today's guide will cover the middle ground or anything that's different between the different countries. And if I don't mention your country today in this video, make sure you leave a comment below telling me where you're from, and I'll try to get some up-to-date info for you guys. If you're excited about the Switch 2, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of these videos, because we only have about 9 days till the Switch 2 comes out. And I'm so excited. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So first up on my list is Canada. So the first store I want to start with Canada is EB Games. Now, EB Games is Canada's GameStop equivalent. It used to be called GameStop, but they just switched back the name to EB Games. So I actually called one in Toronto asking if they will have any on launch day, and they said they don't know if they will, but they will have enough for pre-orders. Now, this could just be the store that I called, but this means that there's not a super high chance that you could get one from EB Games. I know I've heard of some that will have extra on launch day, so I would recommend calling them, asking if they have any extra for launch day. Even if it's like one or two, you still want to try to get that one. So if they do have some, they're having a midnight release, but midnight means midnight EST. So whatever that is for you, if it's 9 p.m., then that is technically midnight. And also, they're opening up early the next day for pickups. So if they have extra, you might be able to get one next day if you don't want to stay up late in the night. Alright, so moving on to my next store in Canada, Walmart. So I said in yesterday's guide that Walmart was no luck. I said to just not even try at Walmart. And that's true for the US, but Walmart in Canada is so much better than it is in the US. They posted on Instagram saying that they're going to have some Switch 2s on launch day. This will be very limited stock, but there's only a 1 per person rule, so not too many people are going to be able to get 5 Switch 2s. So I would say get there an hour or two early so you can be one of the first ones to get one, because like I said, it's going to be very limited stock. They're not going to have that many. Now, this doesn't include pre-orders. If you pre-ordered one from Walmart, your pre-order is still safe. You're not going to have somebody buy your pre-order. And also, if you're trying to buy one that day, it doesn't mean that if they have 10 and there are 8 pre-orders that they're only going to have 2. If they have 8 pre-orders, then they have 8 pre-orders. If they have 10 in the store, that means they have 10. So you should be able to get one from Walmart. That is your best bet if you live in Canada, is to go to Walmart. I mean, there are so many Walmarts everywhere. Not just in the US, but there's so many Walmarts. Definitely go try to pick one up from Walmart if you haven't got one already. But like I said, call your local EB Games because they could have some there. Alright, so the next country on my list is Australia. Now, Australia has EB Games there too, but sadly I wasn't able to call them asking what their stock scenario would be like because I live in the US and it's midnight there right now as I'm recording this. So another bad news with EB Games is that their pre-orders just sold out. It was taking a while for their pre-orders to actually sell, but they just now sold out as of yesterday. So you're unable to pre-order one from there, but you can still call them asking if they'll have any launch day. If they do, they're having an early morning launch, but also a midnight launch. So try to get there super early. Like I said, call the store. You can still pre-order one, but it won't get there till late June, so there's really no point in pre-ordering one. And on to my next store, Target. So pre-orders are closed for Target, but the pre-orders are only for delivery only. But they have limited stock for in-store pickup on June 5th. They're not having a midnight release or anything like that, but you can get there super early in the morning, right before they open, and hopefully they'll have some Switch 2s there. They said that they will have some in person. So it's not like, like I said with the pre-orders with Walmart, it's not like they're selling off their pre-orders. Your pre-order's safe. If you get there and they say they have 10, they have 10. So like I said, get there super early because there aren't that many ways to get one in Australia right now. So if you haven't pre-ordered one, your luck isn't super high, but hopefully you'll be able to get one because of this. Alright, so now lastly on my list is Europe. Now, Europe is very consistent with all their countries. So if you live in Europe, most of this info will apply to you. Now, Europe is very similar to the US when it comes to the Switch 2's launch. A lot of the things I said yesterday are going to apply to Europe, so go watch that video if you haven't already, because that'll be probably the best in-depth guide for you guys. So basically, GameStop and Best Buy are going to have a lot of extra stock on that day. When I say a lot of extra stock, it doesn't mean that they're going to have, hundreds of Switch 2s. They're going to have probably about 10 to 15 Switch 2s. So call your local GameStop, call your local Best Buy, asking them if they're going to have any extra on launch day. And if they're opening midnight or having an early store opening, because you want to be super early to get there. I said this yesterday, but a lot of people want the Switch 2. So you want to get there as early as possible so you can secure yours if you haven't already pre-ordered one. So that's basically it, wrapping up this second guide. Like I said in the beginning, if I missed your country, if I missed where you live, let me know in the comments below, because I really want to help you guys and figure out how you can get a Switch 2 on launch day if you want to get one. We're approaching our final week of this marathon, and I really want to put out some really good vids for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of these videos, and make sure you turn on notifications so you get notified. I've been uploading these videos around 12 every single day. That's Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you stay tuned, because this week is going to have some of the best videos in this marathon. So I will see you guys tomorrow.